morning, may I help you?
Good morning. Is Miss Panda available?
I am Miss Panda. Have we met before?
Yes, we have, but you have changed something about yourself. Is your hair different?
Yes, now I have settled into my current job. I need to look less black and white, less specific. It is better for me if I appear to be all things to all people, especially when I start looking for my next job. I remember you now. Mr. Daddy Rabbit, or is it Mr. Rabbit Daddy? I am sorry, I have forgotten.
I am Mr. Rabbit Daddy today, as I am looking for answers to more questions about my child's future at becoming a champion of fencing. I hear you are still doing your job here after the Olympics.
Yes, thank you. I have had my contract renewed, and in fact I think my inexperience of fencing contributed greatly to the level of success that we saw in British fencing at the Games. How can I help you today, Mr. Rabbit Daddy? If there is anything I can answer, I will try. If it is anything technical and actually about fencing, then perhaps I can find someone else to help. Tell me, did you manage to get your son's sex change yet, and has he been retrained for foil as I advised last time we spoke?
No, we decided it was better to keep him as a boy, which made him happy, and he seems to prefer fencing epee, so we have kept it as well.
What a pity. He would have made an excellent girl foilist, and I am sure she would have gone on to do great things for her country. What questions did you have? Hopefully I have answered them already.
I want to know what the performance and selection gurus of British fencing have planned for the young cadets since the Olympics 8 months ago. I heard that they have publicly committed us to being the world's leading fencing country by the 2024 Olympics, and so with 8 months already gone, I imagine that they have started something spectacular.
Yes, we started immediately by urgently organizing a complete board change in 2 parts and then making the vital decision to do nothing until after the second part in 6 months' time.
Do nothing for 6 months? How can you waste 1/8 of the time you have before the next Olympics?
Oh, we have not wasted it. We have made all sorts of commitments and announcements and recruited vital administration staff.
How could you do that kind of thing without a full board being appointed? Were these areas that they do not control? What sort of things did you announce?
Well, nothing much. We only committed ourselves to being the world's leading fencing country by 2024.
Oh my gods and grips. Isn't that important? How are you going to be the best in the world over 3 weapons in just 10 years?
Well, it isn't that important. After all, we are only a minor sport, and who will notice if we eventually miss a target set over a decade before? Also, I won't be in fencing to see the consequences. I will be administering another sport as chairperson or something by then, so it won't affect me or any of the others, who all will have retired or be long gone. In addition, you mentioned 3 weapons. The NGO have now committed to concentrating on 1 weapon until we get that right. To go with the name of the organization, which I have been told is British Foiling, we have decided to concentrate on the foil. You will remember last time we met I told you I did not think we did epee. I was right. It was just that it had not been officially announced then. British Foiling will concentrate on foil until we are best at that, which may not be until after 2024. Appointing someone with no knowledge of fencing was clearly such a good idea, as it brought me to the sport, that when we made a vacancy for a person to create a success pathway for the sport, we immediately looked for another person who knew nothing and appointed them. Having only 1 weapon to not know about will mean that their job is much easier to do. It is likely that the other weapons will wither away through lack of acknowledgement and support during this foil-only time, so foil will be the only weapon that we will have athletes doing by 2024. And if we achieve that, we will have made our target. We will be the world leaders at the only fencing that we do. Of course, failing that, the meaning of the word leading can so easily be changed. For example, if we were to have British people appointed to lead all the other fencers into the arena at the World Championships before 2024, then we would have been the world's leading.
But, what about all the talented children that do the other weapons, Epee and saber?
Well, they have the choice to switch to foil. I don't know how difficult that would be, but it is there. And worrying about how well they are doing in the numerous ranking lists that continue will distract the parents from asking how far they can go. There was a suggestion that we should create single central ranking lists for all competition organizers to use, but if we did, then it would show how good our young epeists and sabras were doing, and eventually it would become clear that even if they were better than the foilists, they still cannot go anywhere. And we would have to explain that to people, which would be difficult, so it's much better to not have any evidence like that available in the first place.
But our children are committing their lives, their time, their health and fitness and skills to something that they won't be allowed to succeed in, aren't you misleading them?
Well, as long as we avoid admitting all this clearly or publicly, we can still pretend to be a three-weapon sport to everyone except ourselves, so I won't say mislead. They can be very successful in youth and junior sport as long as they don't want any support or training help. There is just no place in the adult ranks outside foil. The other thing about making sure that we didn't have any success at Epee in the London Olympics is that we did not have to make excuses to UK sport about where their money went. In the event that we do have success at Epee in the future, we can always make it look really huge to cover for any lack of success anywhere else by showing how much better we have become since 2012. Besides, it's obvious when you think about it that we are driven by political aspiration and clever marketing rather than actual success across all weapons. After all, we cannot become the world's leading fencing nation by supporting only one weapon for so many years that by the time we see success it will be too late to develop the others before 2024. It would just be complete nonsense to genuinely commit to something like that under those circumstances, isn't it?